My name is Fatima Ozcan. I'm a third year PhD student in law school. I specialize in maritime law, but my PhD focuses specifically on cyber cover of autonomous vessels in the context of marine insurance law. So basically, I bring together three pillars: cyber risks, autonomous ships, and marine insurance law. And in my PhD, I investigate whether and how cyber attacks could be placed in marine and war risks, and if we can implement this in autonomous vessels. So I joined PPS first as a policy associate in September 2021. We received this email from one of our lecturer, and uh, it was advertising this policy associate scheme, and I was quite interested in, and I decided to apply, and afterwards I got accepted. And my job as a policy associate includes stakeholder engagements with project partners and stakeholders from outside of the project, also doing a policy synthesis, which includes looking at grey literature and bringing all the policy papers and producing a policy synthesis report, basically. During my experience, I had a chance to interview more than 20 project partners, and it was a really one of the best experience of my life, because I'm coming from an academic background and I never interacted with the people outside of academia in a professional environment before. And seeing people from industry, from different parts of industry, looking at the solution problems in a very different way. 6 months into the role, I have been offered a summer internship in public policy Southampton, which was managing the consultations activity, and I happily accepted, and I'm still doing it after a year. In this activity, I scan the call for evidence from UK Parliament and governments, as well as Welsh and Scottish parliaments and governments. And I enter all these informations to our database. And then me and my brilliant teammates come together and do a little brainstorming on how can we match these call for evidences with our university expertise. And then I contact with these academics, asking if they are interested in this call, if they have enough capacity to respond. And if they say I'm in, then the process starts. I then provide them with some guidance documents and tips and some templates. Also, we offer them any feedback that would shape their draft. Of course, they are the real experts in this area, but we just help them to polish and make it more accessible for policymakers. So what I like the most about this role is it's never the same or mundane. It's always a different journey with an academic because of their background, because of the call for evidence. And it's always a valuable experience for me to walk through this process with them. It starts with an email, and it goes till the submission and oral evidence and an impact even. Wow, so many. So with this policy associate scheme, first of all, because I was working with a team and I was engaging a lot of project partners and external stakeholders, which means I try to reach out them, engage them, hold some interviews, and write down their answers and try to synthesize all those responses, which was a whole new experience for me. Because I'm coming from an academic background, and I never interacted with people from industry or from different backgrounds before. That's why it was quite interesting seeing so many different way of thinking, approaching to the problems, finding practical solutions to the problems. So it was a really good experience, I think, for policy associate scheme. And also, as a PhD student, I'm pretty confident in doing a literature review, but I never done a grey literature review, which we did during post associate scheme. I looked for all the policy documents, white papers, and grey literature, and I brought all these documents together to write a policy synthesis document, which was a quite satisfying experience in the end. During my role in the internship, I think I would say the best experience I gained was because I was constantly engaging with the academics and policymakers. It was a great confidence booster. It's not easy to reach out to an academic or a clerk in a department to say that I'm a PhD student and I need your help on this, or are you interested in this? It took me a lot to say this in a confident way. So that was great from that aspect. And knowing that you own this role, you know what you're doing, makes you more confident in explaining an academic what a call for evidence is, how they are going to respond to this call for evidence. So I would say my great take from this role was that. Also, I gained a lot of soft skills during this internship. I was working with all of the team members individually or together, and it was my first experience working in the team. Just engage. It is simple as it is. If you're in Southampton University, come to Public Policy Southampton, and we'll help you how to best engage with policymakers and how to best translate your research into policy language, and we will support you in the way of make an impact. If you're not from University of Southampton, you can find an equivalent of public policy unit, because these institutions are like a bridge between the academics and policymakers. So they would help you to how to make the best impact with your research. Or even if you're on your own, it doesn't matter. Go to UK government or parliament websites, find the call for evidence, and if you look at them, you'll see they are consulting on literally everything, and you will find something that would match to your research area or to your interest. And just engaging with the clerks and asking, how am I going to respond to these consultations, would help a lot. The key is not making an impact. The key is just reaching out and having the will and enthusiasm to make an impact. Recently, I joined a UPenn conference with my colleagues from PPS. UPenn is University Policy Engagement Network. And in one of the sessions, there was this discussion about what is success for you in policy engagement. And I was this breakout room with the people who are doing the same job as me in different universities and institutions. And some of the answers were like, submitting a response is a success, or being invited to an oral evidence, or making an impact in the policy. But to me, success is different. I remember when I first started this job, I was reaching out to academics for the first time, and I received my very first response from an academic saying that, oh, I'm interested in this, let me have a closer look. And I never felt happier. I just felt that we changed the policy, we made the impact bit, but it was just a small, I'm interested in response. So I think the key is honestly just willing to engage with the academics, putting yourself out there, putting your research out there, and reaching out to the people who are going to help you to translate your research in the policy world.